Okay, so this is going to be the first time we have chatted in a while. It was the Gold Senior Gold Selection Group. The original purpose of this group really was to help people um, get to Gold School. That was the original idea. And so we will still work with that. However, we're going to change some things up just a little bit. I honestly don't know if it's going to change that much, but we're going to open it up to anybody actually that wants to join. We're not going to limit it to a certain rank or, whatever. And I think one of the reasons is one of the things that we've done over the last probably, I don't know, year and a half or 2 years almost, is we have leaned really heavily on coaching, which has been great. It's been fun. But one thing that we're wanting to do is we still do coaching and still do those things, but really move past coaching and apply the things that we have learned already. I think one of the things is there is a time to learn, there is a time to process things, there is a time to um, work through things, and there's also a time to apply what we already know. And I think that's one thing that this call is going to be about. Is going to be this Zoom is going to be for those who want more. It's going to be those who want to continue to grow personally, those who want to continue to grow in their business, and those who are really committed to doing that, committed to putting in the work, committed to doing what it takes to hit whatever goals you set for yourself. So that's really going to be what this is about. The name of the group was changed to the Velocity Group. When they mentioned the word velocity at convention, I thought, that's kind of odd. And a name, but I don't have my notes here, but I wrote down some things about velocity, and in my layman's terms of definition for the word velocity is really it's speed with freedom. It's like speed without any sort of friction, any sort of hangups. It's speed without any interference. So it's like speed with freedom. And that's one of the things I want to work on with within this group really, is just to help us to be fast. The things that we're learning, whether it's about ourselves, about our business, whatever, I want us to be able to apply those things and apply them quickly, because we can get into which I think is a rut, but we can get into a coaching rut to where it's just like we constantly come back in, rehash the same things, and yet we're talking about things, we're admitting things, but we're not moving. I have some friends like that are really into personal growth, but they never grow. And so it's like they constantly go to these, they constantly go to these conferences and they get all jazzed up, and, and then they get home and then they need another conference. And so it's like, and they learn the same thing. Yay, here we go again. And, by the end of the year, they're down thousands of dollars and they haven't moved anywhere, and it's like this sort of a roller coaster idea of personal growth when there really is no, if you measured it out over the year, there's not any growth at all. And so the idea again with this group is that we continue to learn, but we also apply what we learn, and we apply it quickly. Velocity, speed with freedom, and so that's one of the ideas behind this. So one thing I wanted to point out is we have, and this call today is mainly going to be a vision casting call about what this group is about, what we're going to do. We can talk about a few things, but really it's just a matter of casting vision of the purpose of what this group is. And so one of the things is we just came off of convention. Everybody's excited. I expect, let's see, there'll be more. I'm surprised there's not more on here. Usually after an event, there'll be a lot of people that are all fired up and all excited. And then a few weeks later, there's a few. That's just the way it is. We'll see how this group works out But I'm excited. I personally am excited. I think the convention was exactly what I needed personally. The John Maxwell stuff, incredible, and so it really, one of the things that I personally was praying going into convention was, Lord, give me clarity on what am I supposed to do? And I'm being just fully vulnerable and open here. I mean, I was just praying, Lord, do you want me to continue with Plexus? Do you want me to do something different? I've just felt kind of flat. And so I went with open hands. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to learn? Who do you want me to talk to? I submit to whatever you have. And one of the things I walked away with many things, but one of the things I walked away with personally was that Plexus is exactly where I'm supposed to be. And I have zero doubt of that. I knew that going in, but I think I was looking at some other things. And so, yeah. So anyway, that was one of the clarification moments I had. It's like, this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. It's just time to yield to what God has for me within Plexus. And so that was a cool thing for me. So coming back home from convention, I'm excited. I'm really fired up. I do like the direction the company's going. And that honestly was something I was sitting back and waiting to see. Okay, so Tarl is stepping down. We have a new CEO. Where are we going? What's going on, within our company, within our organization? And so I like the direction we're going. I think we're heading in a good direction, and we'll see what the future has. So that's one thing. Another thing, with this call also is that we have a couple different things coming up. One thing is Leaders Retreat. The end of Leaders Retreat contest is the end of August. It's not the end of July. I think there's been some confusion in light of that. So it doesn't end at the end of July. It ends at the end of August. And I wanted to share something. I can't really give details. I guess I could, but I said I wouldn't. So I'm not going to give details on some things. But you may look at your Leaders Retreat contest points right now, and you might think there's no way I'm going to make it by the end of July, or I'm sorry, by the end of August. And maybe that's true. However, can't share all the details. However, I would encourage you to push anyway. And there's a reason why. I just can't share it right now. I don't know when it'll come out. But even if it looks like I can't make it by the end of August, don't look at that. Push like you could. Push like you could make it by the end of August. And again, there's a reason why I'm telling you that. It hasn't been revealed yet. It will be soon. And you don't want to get to the end of August and say, oh, crap, I should have pushed until the end of August. And I will say, yes, you should have. And I told you on June 22nd, you should push to the end of August, even if it looks like it's impossible. I will be quick to remind you of that. Plexus is doing something they have never done before in light of Leaders Retreat, and that they will never do again. So that's all I can really tell you in light of that. And it will be worth it to push it to the end of August to try and to get as many points or Leaders Retreat credits as possible by the end of August, even if you think you're not going to hit the 1250. It will be worth it. So I'm just going to leave it at that. A couple other things we have coming up is Gold School. If you haven't been to Gold School, that's another good reason to push. Gold School is amazing. Genevieve Scory is incredible. I went to Gold School in end of last year. It was amazing. It was really, really good. Their training is getting better and better all the time. You'll want to go to Gold School. It's really great stuff. If you've been, or if Gold School happened after you were already gold, Then Ruby is on the Rise is another training that they have coming up. Megan has been to that also. I have not been to that one, but she said it's just as good, even better than Gold School. So a lot of things coming up, a lot of reasons that we should engage and push. And this group is just to encourage you to do that. And so I'm personally going to push in my own business, and I'm going to run and help anybody else that wants to push and run in their own business. And so we can do it together and encourage one another along the way. This call will be every Thursday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, just like it is today. It'll be the same Zoom link every single time. As far as the group chat goes, it's open for you to post whatever you need to post on there, ask questions, post victories. If your dog gets sick and you feel the need to process that chat group's probably not the place to do that, because everybody's there for a reason. Sorry about the dog, but like maybe move that offline to another chat group that you can name whatever your dog's name is. That would be great. So just throwing that out there. If you anyway, I could keep going there, but I'm not. We have to stay focused. So one thing I want to do is let me get my pen here. So one thing I really want to do is, before we set out on any sort of journey, or before we set out on any sort of trip or anything like that, the real question is, you have to really determine, where are you going, right? And I think that's extremely important. I think we need to be honest with ourselves. Why are we coming to this group? Why are we excited? Why do we want to move forward? Why do we want to, why do we want more? And where are we going? What is more? What's more than enough? What is enough, right? I think we need to be honest and really set some really solid goals. And one of those goals would be, it could be leaders retreat. It could be a rank. It could be a re-rank. What is it? It could be a dollar amount. It's your goal. You can make it whatever you want to make it. And so the question I have really for you right now today is, where are you going? Where do you want to go with this? You can either answer that out loud if you want, or you can be writing it down. But I think you need to really determine, what is that hard goal? What is that? What is the goal? What is it you want to accomplish with this Plexus business?
Ruby.
What?
Ruby to start.
Ruby. There you go. There you go. Stephanie says Ruby. What? Anybody else want to share theirs?
Justin, I came home the other day. I had bought a red poster board and dusted it off when I got back from Nashville. But anyway, and I made a goal poster for myself for the cruise. I want diamond. I want all the things. I want 7 figures, but my brain will shut down. And that's just me. So I work pretty good in 90 days. And I've never done this before on a goal poster, but I wrote a note to myself and I spoke it out loud. And this morning when I spoke it out loud, I was like, wait, okay. Took a deep breath and just affirmations, because on that, but wrote a note to myself. And so my goal is to re-rank gold, senior gold, and then ruby by the end of August. And that's what kind of took my breath away for a second, but I'm good. So
okay,
just throwing that out there.
And that's good. We, if you were in this group before we took the break, one of the things was goal setting. And there was a few times that we did goal setting, and I shared out of, where is my book? I shared out of this book here. It's called Think and Grow Rich. It's a classic by Napoleon Hill. basically coming out of the Great Depression, he started interviewing people who did well. Because for the record, some people did extremely well financially in the Great Depression. Not everybody was like peddling eggs. Some people made a lot of money. And he interviewed a lot of those people and came up and wrote this book. And so he's been dead for decades and decades, but and I can put this in the chat group again. I don't know how far you'd have to scroll back up to see this from the last time, probably too far. So I'll put it back in there, but it's really great on goal setting. And one of the things with goal setting is to work with exact numbers. It's kind of like, I want to be Ruby, right? So that's it's an exact rank, it's an exact number. We know that's 500 points, right? There's a lot of things that we can look at that. So make sure that your goals are exact. And another thing too, as you're setting these goals, kind of like Christy said, I want to be diamond and all this stuff, but my brain shuts down. Okay, so don't set diamond as your goal. Set Ruby as your goal, or set your first goal as re-ranking gold, right? The little wins are what builds confidence. So don't set your goal like, I'm going to be king of the earth. Well, then, and then you hit gold. It's like, okay, that seems way too far out there. Let's just focus on gold, and you can have long-term goals is fine, but those short-term goals and hitting those builds confidence. And it really starts to build momentum and excitement as you start knocking these things out. It's kind of like what I do when I put a list of things together for the day. And as soon as I knock out even the short, easy ones, like get up, wake up at X time, I check it off my list. To me, I'm like, victory, baby. We got the first one knocked out. And then you just kind of fire it up for the next one, right? And so it's those, I heard it in what book was it? I'm looking at all these books up here I have. I don't remember which book it was, but it says, inch by inch, it's a cinch, mile by mile, it's a trial. So just set those goals and just keep, working through your day, just knocking things off your list. And those short-term goals, knock those things out. Those are victories and they should be celebrated. Re-ranking gold should be celebrated just as much as hitting diamond the first time. I mean, they're both a big deal. They're both a goal hit. So I don't know, make sure we're celebrating those things as you're setting goals. Let's see, Jamie had something. Jamie Keith, senior gold, and help my runner go gold. Yep. And Heather, gold, I need baby steps. Hey, baby steps are great. Heidi, re-rank gold. Help one person go gold, attend leaders retreat. November 5th is her 45th birthday, so that'd be an awesome birthday present and celebration. That would be really awesome. That would be really awesome. One thing, let me let a couple more people in the call here. So one thing I want to point out too, if leaders retreat is your goal, one of the things you want to look out for, and this is where velocity comes in, speed. Like speed. One thing we'll do is we will talk ourselves out of anything. Yeah, I should really call Sarah. And then the next day, man, I should really call Sarah. And it's like a week later, yeah, I got to get around to calling Sarah. And then we need to do these things quickly. And the things that you need to do in your business, do it quickly. Whether it's calling someone, what you need to. Here's the thing, probably no one on this Zoom call right now needs more knowledge. If you and I were to sit down and have a cup of coffee or a beer or something together, depending on the time of the day, but there, maybe not, I don't know, whatever. But if we were to sit down and have a conversation, and we were to talk long enough and I was to ask enough questions, we would be able to determine you already know what to do. More knowledge is not what's needed, right? It's the speed of applying what you already know is what's needed, right? And so, like, within this business, we already know what to do. And we make it difficult, like, well, I don't know what to do. Well, not true. You do know what to do. And many of you have proven it to yourself already because you've already done it. And so it's a matter of doing it. And it's a matter of doing it quickly. So one of the reasons I bring that up in light of Leaders Retreat is this. The first, I'd have to go look at the frequently asked questions of the Leaders Retreat, but I think it's the first 1,333 winners of Leaders Retreat will get on the boat. It's kind of like Noah's Ark. Like, there's only so much room on the ark, right? So you want to get on the ark. And so it's, if you earn it after that, then I think that you earn, there's a dollar amount that you earn instead of the trip. Or if someone can't make it, maybe they'll bump it up based off of points. But so this is where speed comes in, and applying what you know to apply already. Maybe it's sharing the business with people. Maybe it's, being consistent daily, whether it's posting or whether it's reaching out or following up or hosting events, whatever the thing is or things are that you know you need to do, I would be focusing on those and doing those things quickly. Because like I said, the boat will fill up. And if the boat fills up, again, do yourself a favor. Do not stop pushing. Many people, if that were to happen, will stop pushing. You don't want to regret not working to the end of August. That's all I can say about that. What else? Let me see. What else have you guys got? Anything else you guys have? We went over your immediate goal. One thing I would do is one thing that I would do is what Christy was talking about. She wrote her goal down. She read her goal out loud. That's critical. If you start, yeah, I want to go gold. I mean, that's great. But when you start speaking things out, I'm going to go gold by whatever, June 30th. I'm going to re-rank gold by June 30th. And I'm not going to eat ice cream until I do that, or whatever goal you set for yourself, right? And so when you start talking like that, it's like kind of like she thought, whoa, things just got real, right? Like, so you start speaking these things out and things change, When you start speaking things out, there's some people won't speak things out. Why? Because they don't believe it. So speaking things out and doing it consistently. I'm going to re-rank gold by July 15th, by June 30th, whatever the date you set is. You start speaking that out and it's like, whoa, you just became accountable to who? To you. You just got down to truth, right? And now you got to do something about it, or else you just lied to yourself. And that's a whole nother issue you got to work with. And so when you start speaking things out, things change. I remember we were driving down the road. I don't remember what rank Megan was, but I remember exactly what road we were on. I remember exactly where we were at. She said, I'm going to go diamond. I'm like, well, better get going to diamond then. I don't know what to tell you, but I remember exactly. She spoke it out. And when you start speaking things out, things do change. So whatever goal you're starting to write down for yourself, make sure you speak that out. Remind yourself of it. Put it in a place where you can read it and read it out loud. Tell somebody. Oh, not just yourself. Tell someone else. Now you're accountable to them, right? Things just get real. You start speaking this stuff out. So don't hold back on that. Who's ready for more? I mean, honestly, and who's ready to do what it takes to become more, do more? I am. I'm ready. I'm not done yet. So I'm resetting all my goals. I'm resetting all the stuff. And I'm excited. I'm fired up. Who else, who has something they want to share real quick while we got a little bit of time? Let's, like I said, today's more of a vision casting day. It's not really a hot and heavy day, but just really a connection point and a time really to cast vision and just work things out before we get going. Anybody have something they want to share?
If you're Diamond, do you get to help pick out convention locations? Because that would be like a goal for me.
You would want to what? You would want to pick it out?
Yes.
Where would you? Okay. Well, the first answer to that is no. I don't get asked where we get to go. That's something they handle at the corporate office based off of contracts and all that stuff, and they have to book those years in advance. So I don't have anything to do with it. After a convention, I have the ability. I can give feedback on whether we thought the city was good, whether we thought the venue was good or bad, why and why not. So there, we do give feedback. But where would you go if you? Okay, so if they came. Diamond Ambassador Stephanie Morales, we are giving you the keys to the city here. What city would you want us to go to or have convention
Oh,
in? What
I would
city?
go to Utah
Utah.
or Maine or Washington. There's so much beautiful country out there that is not Las Vegas.
Right. Right. Well, Alec Clark is from Utah, so he'd probably enjoy being close to home would be my guess. But interesting. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know when they choose that or how. I've really enjoyed it being in the Midwest the last 2 years. I enjoy that. But however, Las Vegas, I don't mind for a few days. And most of the time we're inside. We're not really walking down the strip anyway. We're in within one building for the most part. But I will say it is actually pretty fun for a few days. There's lots to see, lots to do. The food's amazing. The strip is kind of gross, but I mean, there are certain places you can go. We went to, let's see, the best steak I ever had was at the Bellagio one time. We went to a restaurant. The best restaurant steak anyway I've ever had was there. And we went to watch, it's called Cirque du Soleil. It's like a acrobatic thing, and this one was over the water. That was really awesome. So there are things to do that won't damn your soul to hell in Las Vegas. If you're looking for them, they are there. However, if you want to go the other route, those are there as well. That town will chew you up and spit you out if you let it. So it's just, it's just really a matter of where you want to go, what you want to do. But
Well,
anyway.
my husband was just wondering if he was going to have to wear blinders, like the horses.
I mean, you can, I guess. I just try to make light out of it and have fun with it. I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. It's Vegas. I don't know. So whatever. I don't go there on family vacation, however. But if there's a business convention that is there, I'll go. But
There's a good Asian burger place there.
Asian burger place.
Yes.
That sounds pretty awesome. I'm gonna check that out. So
In 2016, we were driving through and we found an Asian burger place and it was really good.
okay. Okay. See, there's some fun stuff there. It's not all bad, I don't think. There is some fun stuff to look at. All the lights are fun for a couple days and all the stuff, but again, not my choice on a personal vacation spot. But who else? Who else has something? Questions, complaints, concerns? What do you got?
I've got just a quick shout out.
Yep.
I'll turn my screen on.
There you go.
I don't know what you guys did in the Men of Plexus, but I have heard from numerous wives that their husbands are totally on board, including mine. Like he excuse my dog there.
It's fine.
He's fired up now to get out there and talk to people every day about the business, which
Yep.
that's something I'm always scared to do is
Mhm.
start right off the bat pitching the business. So I'm super jealous that I wasn't sneaking into the Men of Plexus. So I'm not sure all of what you talked about in there, but whatever it was, it created a fire in a lot of those men.
Well, good. That was the goal. The goal is to encourage men to get involved there in one form or another. There were several things shared from several different people. I was just a really small part of it, but the corporate side, the corporate guys shared some cool stuff, some cool testimonies and things about the business. And then there was a small panel for 15 or 20 minutes. A few people were on there, me included, and we were able to share and answer a couple different questions. So I thought it was really good. And one thing I'll just point out is if you want to grow in this business, one of the things that you're going to have to get over is sharing the business. Because you can add one person at a time signing up Triplex, which is awesome. Our products are amazing. But if you want quick and massive growth, you are going to have to share the business. And then those people will share more, and then your team will grow, and it won't feel like you're pulling the thing all by yourself. You'll have other people running with you. So, I mean, one of the things, again, if you're wanting to grow this business, is you have to share the business. And again, that's where you go from adding to multiplying. That's where your organization will start to multiply rather than just add one at a time. And we're thankful for the ones we add one at a time. I'm not saying we're not, and I'm not saying helping people with their health is a waste of time. It's not. It's very fruitful. It's very rewarding to help people. I love doing it. I was just talking to a high school classmate of mine who's been on the Triplex for 3 months. I was talking to him just yesterday. He started out, his A1C numbers were 10.5, which is awful. And he's down to 8 in 3 months. And his goal is below 7. I think maybe average is probably 6-ish, somewhere in that range, if I remember right. And so he's well on his way. So I love those stories. I love helping people out like that. But if you're wanting to grow your business, you will have to start sharing the business. And so that's just something we need to get over. It's something I had to get over. It was something I had all the same feelings and all the same fears that all of you have had or currently have. So don't let that hold you back. Who else has something they want to share?
Hi guys, can you hear me? I'm outside.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I just want to share the people that I roomed with, Linda and Amber and Gretchen. We were talking about vision and what's kind of our grander vision, and one of them shared generosity is going to be their vision. One shared service. I want my team to share, service, and I don't remember the third one, but it just made me think and try to clarify, what do I want? And I really came down to, I want to be an advocate for mental health. It's my story. It's blown up like ever since the pandemic, even more. And how can I create a community of families, of people to advocate for better health overall, but mental health and brain health. And so I'm just excited I found clarity on that, and I'm speaking it out. And so
Mhm.
there we go, starting somewhere.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that's the key is to know, what is it? What is your ultimate goal? Like, I know what my ultimate goal is. My ultimate goal is to hear, "Well done, thou good and faithful servant." Ultimate goal. Okay, so now on the way to that, what are all my short-term and even longer-term goals to hit that? And so I think setting those goals, and whether it's generosity, whether it's service, advocacy, philanthropy, whatever thing you really feel called to be a part of. Again, I think those things are awesome, but we also need to make sure that they're measurable. Otherwise, we won't know when we get there. Or otherwise, we'll be on the constant pursuit of something that we don't even know what that number is, right? And so, how do you measure advocacy of mental health? How do you measure that? What does that look? What would, in your mind, for what you're called to do? What does that? When will you know you're there? Like, again, so make sure that whatever your goals are that you're wanting to hit, make sure they're measurable. It's kind of like I've said before. Well, I did. I want to make more. Okay, well, $1 is more. So is that? I mean, we have to be able to make sure we can measure that, so we know where we're at. We know if we're on track. We know if we're not on track. We know. Does that make sense? So as you're setting these goals, just make sure you have specific numbers in mind. Again, whether it's points, whether it's a dollar amount, whatever that is. I think that we need to make sure they're very specific goals that can be measured. Anybody have any questions about that as far as like setting goals or anything?
So when setting a goal, like if I'm wanting to get to Ruby by December,
Yep.
then my first goal would be to re-rank gold.
Yep.
This month should be doable, because we're only on the 24th.
Okay. Where did you end in May? Let's just break this down and see where we're at.
In May,
Point wise.
I would have to pull it up, but I think it was 86 points.
Okay. So the first goal in light of this is very easy to measure. So let's say it was 86 points you finished in May. We know we need 100 points to rank or re-rank gold. So we have a gap of 14 points, right? And so we have very specific numbers. Now you can break that 14 down even more specifically into people. When you start looking at points, that's one thing, but when you turn points into people, because people can get lost in the points. We don't want to do that, and it's easier too if you break it down. Well, instead of 14 points, well, how many people is that? Depending on the size of your organization, right? The amount of people that you bring in are going to be worth an average amount of points. Does that make sense? So if you're brand new and you're signing people, all the people coming in are going to be worth 6 points because they're all going to be level 1s. Now, if you are a double diamond with 12 diamonds, if you're Celeste Gwynn coming in, what's the average of the people coming into your organization? Well, I don't know. I've never talked to her about it. Probably 2 or 3, right? So you have to be able to break it down. And so, do you have anybody else on your team that is going to help in this 14 points, or is it going to be all you?
No, it's going to be Bethany down at the bottom of the screen. That's my sister. She started running for the business as well.
Nice. Okay, so let's break this down then. An average of 5 points per new VIP customer coming into your organization. Does you guys see how I get that?
Yeah.
Right. So you're talking 3 people
Mhm.
on top of everybody that ordered last month. You need 3 new people to hit that first goal. So we have a very specific goal. I want to re-rank gold 100 points. I have a 14-point gap to get there. That's 3 brand new people on top of what we had last month. Now we're very specific. What is she silver yet? Has she signed anybody yet?
She's silver, but I think a couple of the people stopped ordering. So we're
Okay.
working on getting her back to silver.
Okay, so we have so many. See now we have all these specific goals on top of one another all at the same time. You can accomplish several goals right there with just 3 people. She can re-rank silver, you can re-rank gold, you fill the 14-point gap, right? There's several different things here, and we broke it down into just 3 people. We need 3 people at a minimum. You know, you always want to probably shoot higher because you don't know. I wouldn't settle for the 3 because you don't know if someone else will turn off their subscription.
I wrote down 5.
Perfect. Perfect. I have no doubt you'll hit it. I have no doubt you'll hit it. And so that's kind of how I like to break down my goals. It's just as specific as we could be. And that's, you know, I used to even pray very vaguely. You know, it's like, Lord, give us a good day. Well, what in the world does that mean? Like, what? It could mean that I get sick today, like that in his economy. Like, I'm like, okay, well, I should probably be a little, Lord, give me patience. First off, don't pray that. That's a dangerous prayer. 2, that could mean a lot of things. And so I have learned over time, when praying and setting goals, be extremely, extremely specific. And because the more specific you are, the more measurable those things are, right?
Yeah.
Like, Lord, bring me 3 people so I can re-rank gold. Well, that's a measurable answered prayer. You can measure the answer to that prayer, right? If it's kind of like, Lord, just do your whatever you want, which he's going to do anyway, probably. But you want to be specific is my point. Be specific. Be specific. Or like a couple of my sons, if I give them a chore to do, I have to be extremely specific. Well, you didn't tell me to pick up my trash in the yard. Yeah, but I assumed that as you were picking up the yard, you wouldn't put more trash in the yard. But again, extremely specific. So be specific on the goals. Any other questions on goal setting? Anybody has, or any trouble you have goal setting? No. Okay. Any other questions or concerns, complaints anybody has? Again, this is more of kind of a vision casting day than it is anything else. As we go forward, there'll be other things that we'll be doing, more exercises. There'll be not necessarily homework. I don't like the way that feels is such a negative word, but there will be action steps to take to help move us all forward, myself included. So any major takeaways from convention you want to share?
Share the failure in the process so that when you bring on business builders, they know what to expect from the beginning. They don't think it's like this easy miracle
Yeah.
billionaire overnight situation, because you've literally been sharing it.
Right. I agree. I think that's exactly right. I've said it a lot of times. This business is simple. But it's hard. This is a hard business. It's not for wimps.
Mhm.
And I think that's why a lot of men don't do well in this necessarily in the Plexus business, because our egos are extremely fragile. And if you can't check, I heard, who was it that said this? I don't know, some big hair 80s band guy. I don't remember which one it was, said your ego is not your amigo. And it's true. And so if you have a fragile ego, this business will expose that pretty fast. And so it's easier to just grab a shovel and dig a hole instead of keep pushing forward with this business, because it can be hard. It's very rewarding, don't get me wrong, but it can be, it can be hard. And so I think sharing that with people, like, we talk, when we first started, people, the fancy words were, yeah, you just do this in the nooks and crannies of your day. And it's just, and you're just a diamond on a beach. And it's like, awesome. That has not been our story. Okay. I'll be honest. That has not been our case. It has been hard, but the hard has been worth it. It's kind of like choose your hard, right?
Yeah.
And so, but I think that's important, is to be honest with people.
Yeah.
And you'll probably attract a different type of people. True business builders aren't afraid of hard. They're looking for opportunity. The people that are looking for the fast overnight money, they won't last.
Yeah.
They won't last at all. They'll quit the first sign of adversity, they'll be gone. But the people that value the opportunity that you're sharing, they'll see, if they see the opportunity, they will continue to work for it. So even just sharing some of those things, you may attract a different group of people.
That's true.
Yep.
I will say that my husband went to convention, but he did not go to the Men of Plexus.
Mhm.
It was too early in the morning.
Right.
But nonetheless, he was very much inspired, and even like him being inspired has been a blessing to me. Like he's catching me in like my mindset and the way I'm phrasing words. He's catching the whole family. Actually, we may have created a monster. He really enjoyed John Maxwell, which was really fun. And so just like, you don't have to go to a specific meeting. I think just being around our people, he was very impressed, like with the company, like how they had leaders on stage saying, put people first. Like, don't put the dollar sign first, but serve people and love people. And I think that that's just, it's very important. And so that spoke to him. And then just seeing like how our teams, and even not teams, like he was able to talk to the Hemingways.
Oh yeah.
And he talked to some of the Plexus staff, in the big pop-up shop. He was having fun going around. He's Puerto Rican, so he can speak Spanish, but he looks very much white, so he likes to shock people. And so it was just a really good experience.
Did he talk with Victor Antonio? Isn't Victor Antonio Puerto Rican?
I don't think he met Victor, because he said he met a lot of Mexicans, but he didn't meet any Puerto Ricans.
Okay. Yeah, it's awesome. I think that's one cool thing about Plexus, is that you may look at some diamonds like, oh, there's so and so or whoever, but quite honestly, if I think long enough, I would tell you there's a couple I could probably tell you to steer away from. But for the most part, probably 99% of even the diamonds in the company are awesome people. I mean, they're just people. And they're people who have done some hard things, and it's paid off. And I honestly love the people. I can honestly say that. There's been a couple that I had question marks about, but they've left anyway. So I'd have to think about if there's anyone I don't like. I'm sure there is, but they're probably, I don't say don't like, that sounds so bad. They like, I honestly love the people, and I love the Diamond group of people that's in Plexus. I think they're all just wonderful people. You mentioned the Hemingways, great people. You know, yeah, I love them. I really do. And I think, you know, one of the things that I love about Plexus is the people, not just the Diamonds either, but really just the people in general, whether it's the corporate staff or whoever. I just really enjoy the quality of people in the company. I honestly think it's something special. I really do. I don't think every company has this. And so I'm grateful. I am personally grateful for what we have. And so, yeah. Who else has something before we get off here? Anybody else have anything you want to share?
Yeah, I wanted to share something.
Yep.
So this is my first convention and I had to really work, it's so easy to say, woohoo, I'm going. But when it came down to pulling the trigger to buying the tickets, I froze and I really had a hard time. And I actually had to get coached on it, but I did it. And so from the time I went to the airport, was dropped off at the airport, being dropped off in Nashville, trying to find an Uber and find my way to my people, I learned a lot about myself, just this whole thing. I was able to figure out what my brain is doing in stressful situations, and I could calm myself down. And I found when I started to panic or feel stressed, my brain shuts down. But I could prevent that by stopping and grounding myself, just stopping for a minute, taking a looking around and just kind of taking a deep breath. And I kept doing that throughout this whole thing. And so just being aware what my brain is doing I think is going to be really, really helpful for my business because I have the same fears and things that come up when I try to do my business. My brain shuts down, I panic, I get disoriented. So just going. Now the experience was phenomenal. It was like better than anything I could even imagine, and the training and everything and the friendships and just the atmosphere. But just the fact that I went, I flew on a plane, I got an Uber, and I made it, and I was able to ground myself and keep my brain from shutting down constantly. Was huge.
That's awesome. See, that's awesome. I think travel is one of the coolest things as far as building confidence, and those things, traveling is really, it's awesome. There's a lot of things to navigate and overcome. You might be like, who was a lady on stage? She was talking about, she went on the elevator for the first time, right? Like as a, hey, call it a win, call it a victory, right? And so one thing I want to point out really fast before we go here, this is something, just a little quick thing of, let's see, we are ending, bust out my calendar here. So the next time we meet, we'll meet on the 27th. No, we won't. We'll meet on the 29th. So this is going to be a really fast goal, what we're going to do here. But we're going to have to work hard because the end of June is coming up pretty fast. So next weekend is the end of June, beginning of July. And so we're coming up on the end of June pretty fast. But we are the Velocity Squad. So we are all about speed without friction, speed with freedom. And so one thing I want you to be doing is you're probably going to have to do it before the end of the day. And you can either post it in the chat group if you want. If you wait till next Thursday to do anything, you're going to have about 3 days left of the month. So I wouldn't recommend that. But one thing is to find out where you ended point-wise at the end of May. Where did you end point-wise at the end of May? And then where you want to end point-wise at the end of June. And again, we don't have a lot of time, but we have momentum, we have excitement, we have new products, we have a lot of different things. So where you ended point wise at the end of May, where you want to end at the end of June. And then what are you gonna do to get there? You know, are you gonna host an event? Are you gonna be doing reach outs? Are you going to reach out to all the people that are on your team and have been on your team and try to get some of them restarted? Are you gonna do all the above? Start putting a quick plan together, like, hey, it's time to go. It's time to get moving here. Again, this group is about speed, and we're not going to let the grass grow under our feet. We're going to, a rolling stone gathers no moss. So we are not going to be moss collectors. We're going to be check collectors. We got to keep moving if we're going to do that. So I would be working on that, though. If you want to, again, if you want to share it in the chat group, that would be great. That may be an encouragement for other people. And if you have questions, just bring them up in the chat group. Hey, I'm having trouble with this. What do I do? And, you know, we can tackle some of these things together even throughout the week without having to wait till every Thursday morning to bring something up. And also, as always, if you have questions that I could be helping with, reach out to me either on Facebook or text if you have my text or if you have my phone number. But if there's anything I can be helping with, just reach out, ask. Don't be afraid to. I'm willing to run with people who want to run. And so if you're ready to go and you have questions, message me. And it doesn't matter what level you are. It doesn't really, as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't even matter if you're on my team. I coached a guy yesterday who's not even on my team. And then I coached someone else last night who's a level 4 to me. That means nothing to me. So I want to run with people who want to run because I learn from runners, regardless of rank and team. And I want to learn. I want to get better at what I do. I want my business to get better. I want it to grow. I want to grow as a person. So I want to be hanging out with those people who want to move forward. So if that's you and you have questions, feel free to reach out and ask those questions and we'll figure it out together. Okay, well, I got to go. I have got to get this fancy outfit off and put on my typical t-shirt. And so if you guys have any questions, reach out. But we'll be working on those things. Points from the end of May, where you want to end in June. And let's be getting to work on that because we have about, 8 days? 7 or 8 days to hit it. So let's let the momentum that we have and the excitement we have move us forward and hit those goals by the end of June. I got to go. I will talk to you guys all soon. See ya.